How's it going, everyone? I'm the one and only 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿. Welcome back to a new video, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Last Epoch, and specifically, what build I'm going to be playing tomorrow when the game's multiplayer launches. It says the update should go live around 11 a.m., so I'll start doing, recording and things. Hopefully, if it's already up, I might be able to. I said yesterday that I wouldn't be able to have any gameplay for you guys until Monday, but if they'll put it out early and it actually releases and the servers are up and live and working, I might be able to have some actual gameplay for you guys for tomorrow. It'll straight up, to be honest with you all, if it is, it'll probably just be some raw gameplay footage from me and my brother where I might cut some things out if I need to, but that would be the most that it would be. There won't really be any editing to it that much. It'll just be, hey, here's me playing the game, playing the build. So yeah, currently right here I have pulled up the abilities. You can see skills and specializations. This is the ability tree for the sorcerer. Or I should say the mage, and then there's the sorcerer subclass for him. And yeah, so basically, you start out with the mage tree, and here, let me pull it up and I'll show you. Basically, you start out with these. These you unlock purely by putting, just by character level. See, it literally says it. Thankfully, this game is very, it's very intuitive for newer players. They really, explain things pretty well. So, unlocked by character level. So, as you level up your character level, you'll unlock Fireball, Snap Breeze, Ellie Nova, Mana Strike, Flame Ward, etc., Teleport. And then these unlock by spending points in the mage passive tree. So you generally, obviously if you're going a channeling build, you put 20 points in for sure for focus. But I think you do have to have 20 points in mage. I see most builds put about 20 points in to their respective starting class, which, again, is mage. And then they just dump basically all the rest into their subclass. So for this one, I'll be playing sorcerer because I'm either going to be playing static orb or I'm going to be playing meteor, and I don't know which one necessarily, but I know I'm going to be using those two, and I know the abilities that I'm going to be using is probably flame ward, teleport, and then potentially, as you can see down here, you can see at the bottom of my screen, you really only have 5 buttons. You have your 4 buttons and your right click, because unfortunately, you cannot rebind your walking key. I would love to put that on I don't know, W or something, and then be able to rebind my left and right click to something else, but it's fine. Honestly, it's totally fine. You get used to it. But yeah, basically, the current plan, as I said, is to go something like either static orb or meteor. And so if you've never seen this game before, I'll show you what happens up here. It says skills and specializations. These are your specialization slots. This is where once you hit level 4 in your character, level 8, level 20, level 35, you unlock a specialization slot. So I'll just pull up Fireball, for instance, because this is probably what I'm going to be using to level. So you pull it up, and if I'm level 4, then I can specialize in Fireball. And it'll bring up this tree of things. Each of these has different stuff, and it's kind of like Path of 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿's thing, right? You have minors, minor notables or minor passives that do less impactful things, but still, unlike Path of 𝙀𝙀𝙉𝙁, these things are still very impactful and important, right? Ignite chance. And then you go down here and you get Spreading Flames. And you go over here and you have a chance to apply Spreading Flames. You have over here where you have Crit Chance and Fire Shred. And you can make them homing. These are notables basically. So yeah, Fireball has increased cast speed, deals more damage for each extra projectile, but no longer fires extra. It's just one big fireball basically. This makes it into a channeled ability where they're firing 5 fireballs per second, and you're just beaming the hell out of things, and it's really cool. It's a very interesting way of doing this stuff. And so yeah, as you get to these points, as I said, you can you get them as you use the ability. That's the one interesting thing. You level up abilities separately from the rest of things, right? Your character will level up, and let me pull up the passives for a second. As you can see, I'm level 1 character, so it's giving me the tooltips. But yeah, this is the mage passive tree, and so you put points into one of these 3 things. Usually you'll just put points in this because your main stat and resistances always solid. Always a good option. You'll probably just dump points into that. And then if you have any leftovers, you probably maybe dump it in health and mana. You can do a lot of things. There's a lot of good passives. What is it? When is it? This is one where you see a lot of your points get dumped because it's just crit chance, crit multi, right? Like it's just good. Very, very strong. 10 points. You put like 8 points in that, 10 points, 10 points in that, and then like 2 points in attack and cast speed, and then you're basically done unless you have a specific one of these at the end of your tree or something that you really want, but I don't want these things for the most part. And you can always go back and respec. There is a vendor who you can go to and you just pay some gold, I believe. You can respec your passives. And then as far as, let me go back to the specializations page. So on specializations, there's different ways of doing it. And unfortunately, I can't show this without like swapping characters. But basically, once you actually specialize into something, there'll be a little extra menu over here or over on this screen. I think it's over here. Once you actually go in here, and it'll say like, oh, I want to like revert a point. I want to like remove a point, and it'll say like, okay, you remove a point, but you'll lose a level in that skill because, as I said, levels in skills happen as you use the ability. As you kill things and do damage with the abilities, you will gain levels in that ability, and so then to then take a point out, you have to de-level the ability. And then you have on like that's like on the left side, and then on the right side there's like de-specialize. So that's exactly what it sounds like. You literally remove it from your specializations, and yeah. So there you go. I mean, like that's the basic idea of it. So I'll briefly walk through what I'm going to be doing. Probably, as I said, I'm going to be leveling with Fireball. I'm going to just make spreading flame, spreading conflagration, and just making, and basically I'm making an ignite proliferation fireball build. If you're for my Path of Exile players, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm literally ignite chance, so I ignite enemies, spreading fire, so it literally makes ignites spread to other nearby enemies, and then you just put more damage on said ignites, and you just you just do this. You probably get I might end up getting flame burst potentially. It just depends. I'll have to see how many points specifically, but you probably put 4 points here, 4 points here. That one depends. Probably at least a couple of points here so that you can get flame burst, and then you just go from there. The maximum of any skill is 20. So I believe, unless they've changed something since I last played. My highest level character that I've ever made was 67, and that was basically I completed the campaign. When you finish the campaign, you'll be around level 60, 70-ish, just depending on how much you did during the campaign and stuff. And then you walk right into the end game at the end of time, which I won't say anything else other than that because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but you'll see when you actually play the game. It's a fantastic game. It's really interesting. As far as the actual build that I'm going to be trying to make, as I said, it's either going to revolve around static orb, which actually let me hover the ability for a second. You cast an orb in a direction, deals lightning damage, pulls enemies towards it, and as it travels and then at a target location, it explodes. It's kind of like ball lightning, except it vacuums enemies and then explodes at its at the end of its length. So it's pretty neat. It's a pretty cool ability. I watched a little bit of someone play it, and I was like, that seems really cool. And then the other possibility is meteor, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's you drop a meteor from the sky. This little star means that it's a signature ability. So as soon as I unlock sorcerer, which just played through the campaign, I think you get it to around level, we'll say like it's the late 20s or like around 30. And it's basically just after you complete like Act 1 of the campaign. You essentially just complete Act 1 of the campaign, and then you get to a point where you have to do something to unlock your subclass. Again, I won't spoil anything for anybody that hasn't played it yet. But yeah, these are my two options. And so from there, you will play basically most characters are going to have like a main skill and then a couple of utility abilities, and that's basically it. Because like I said, you only have 5 buttons. So I'm going to be using Flame Ward, which the reason you use Flame Ward is exactly what it sounds like. 400, a burst of 400 ward. Ward is energy shield for my Path of Exile players. For those that don't know what that means, it's a barrier that goes in front of your health, and then it will decay. As far as this one goes, when you get ward, it immediately starts to decay after a certain duration. But you can see grants burst of 400 ward for 3 seconds, hits deal 30% less damage, and it causes retaliatory burst of flames. That doesn't really matter. You don't care about that. Yeah, you're gonna get this. I go over here and get more ward granted by it, so I'll get like 500 ward from that. You get, you want to get this where you take a multiplicative less damage, so it's just a less hit damage from things while this is active. I believe you take this because it's just useful to have. You get the like, so that way it just auto activates when you get stunned, as long as you have it up and you have enough mana. And then I think you just, yeah, you take a little bit of this, but then the last thing that you get is over here. You get increased fire damage per point. 50% fire damage per point in this. And then if you need it to be converted, you can get this. You get either, you put all your points like here, and then you take this if you need it converted to lightning. This makes it where you get 250% fire damage or 250% lightning damage while this is active. And this increases the duration that it is active. And then you essentially just use it every time it is up. And so, yeah, you just get defensive, some extra damage from it with a buff, defensives, and yeah, then you are like chilling, ready to go. Teleport, self-explanatory. You get teleport. Not self-explanatory, though. The fun part about this particular build, most sorcerers and wizards that are mage that make this, you get this, where you cast a elemental nova around you when you teleport. So you just cast this big AoE circle of elements, and I think there's something that you do to specify which element you want it to be. I don't know that exactly. I think it is based off of which element you have the most scaling in. So if I have the most fire damage, it will focus on that, but I don't know exactly. That could be wrong. Just saying. But yeah, there's a lot of really, really cool things you can do. And yeah, I mean, you do utility, one main skill, and then there's probably some other either utility that I will use, or I probably use Black Hole straight up. I probably just use Black Hole as an additional vacuum tool, those 2 support skills, and then my main skill, and that's it. I mean, it's like that. You basically just pick a skill, pick a specialization that you like, and just keep focusing in on it, level up to the point that you get all that stuff unlocked. And yeah, I mean, this is the game. Otherwise, it's an ARPG. It's a top-down hack and slash loot gather ARPG. You know the type. If you're watching this video, you're probably a Path of Exile player. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, tomorrow they're releasing their multiplayer beta update. I think everybody should at least give it a try. I think it's a pay game. I believe it still is. I don't know that. But if it is, I think it's like $20, and it is absolutely worth your time. I promise you will not regret it. And yeah, check it out. Give it a shot. Highly recommended. Hope you all found this video informative. I hope you enjoy looking at it. Hopefully you might try playing this build along with me, whatever it becomes, I will have actual like build updates, build diaries, I guess you could call them, to like show you like, hey, here's how the build's going, here's what I ended up actually doing with it. But yeah, these are my plans for the league. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new here. I really appreciate you all being here. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you're going to check out the game. What kind of build do you think you're going to do? What are you going to be playing in it? And what do you think about it? Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. If I enjoy your comment, I'll give it a heart. And yeah, I hope you all have a great day. And I will see you for a new video tomorrow.